Hey boys and girls, welcome back to the art table. Today we're going to play with something that's called pareidolia. And I can hear you going, Mrs. Hagen, what does that even mean? Don't worry, I have a little slideshow to explain it. So pareidolia is the brain's ability to interpret random markings that you see into shapes, patterns, or images. So I'm hearing, Mrs. Hagen, what does that mean in real words? That's pretty easy. It's like when you go outside on a sunny day and you see something in the clouds. Or if you're at home and you're looking at your wood floor and maybe you see a face in the grains of the floor. Or it's like in the art room when I do this. And about now is when someone goes, hee hee, it looks like a face. Can't forget a ground line. Then it's just floating in space. So now I can hear you saying, Mrs. Hagen, that's really great information, but how are we going to do that in art? Well, that's pretty easy. We're going to get to do one of the things that I tell you guys never ever to do. We're going to get to scribble. Yes, my kindergarten friends, that means that we're going to draw spaghetti on our paper today. Now, I'm going to do this project with just regular paper and my handy dandy crayons here. You guys have a choice. You can do this with any media that you have at home. Again, just remember, if you're going to get out something messy, to let your grown-ups know and make sure that it's okay. And even if you're deciding to do this with some type of paint or watercolors or markers or whatever you're choosing to do this with, make sure you start with either a pencil or a crayon to do the scribbles, because that's going to be very, very helpful for our next step. You don't want to do the scribbles with a paintbrush because, well, wet paint mixed with wet paint does what? That's right, it mixes together. So what we're going to do is pick a color, any color, I don't care. What do we have here? I'm going to start with, yeah, I can hear you, but this is my art project, so I get to choose the color just like in the art studio. Let's go with, oh, what color is this? Blue, turquoise blue, in fact. Let me move the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. All right, and all we're going to do is we're going to pick a spot to start, and we're going to scribble all over the paper. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Big, loopy scribbles. Now notice how I'm leaving lots of space in my scribbles. All right, I think that's about good. Now comes the part where we're going to play with that thing that I told you was pareidolia. And what we're going to do, there we go, I think you guys can see that a little bit better now, is we are going to look at your scribble. You're going to look all around it. Maybe you have to turn it. Maybe you have to turn it again. Maybe you need to make it diagonal. I don't know. It's yours. And what you're going to do is you're going to start looking for patterns in your picture. Maybe you see a fish. Maybe you see a face. Maybe you see, let's see, what do I see here? This one's tricky. I did a couple other ones earlier that were a little less tricky. Let's see. I bet some of you are going, Mrs. Hagen, can't you see it? It's right there. And I don't know what you're seeing because my brain works differently than your brains. That's one of the really cool things about being people is we all see different things. All right, I've got it right up here, which probably is a little harder for you to see. I actually do see a fish. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to grab another crayon. I'm just going to grab a green for this. If you are doing this with another media, you would pick whatever color from that media that you would want to use, and you trace where you see your thing. So I've got the fish's body right here, and then his fin is up here, and I see his tail. He's got a long, pretty tail. It's right over here. And then he's got a little fin here. Okay, and then his eye. I'm going to kind of go into this stripe up here that I see. All right, maybe right here. And you can actually add parts. So obviously this circle wasn't here. I just made that part of it. And maybe you see some other stuff in your picture. Maybe there's another fish. Maybe there's a bird. Maybe there's a dragon. I don't know. I'm going to make that another fin over there. And then you get to start adding more details. And you can color it in. There we go. Right? And now this time when you color, remember, we don't want spaghetti when we're actually coloring in our picture. We want to color in nice and neat so that it really makes a difference between your scribbles in the background and the picture that you actually want to keep. And remember, just like in art class, you can turn your paper. There's nothing wrong with coloring with it upside down. Remember, your hand goes fast, your arm goes slow, and you can blend. You can add highlights and shadows. You could even finish coloring it in, cut it out, and make a collage out of it with other scribble pictures that you do. So some of you might be saying, Mrs. Hagan, all I have at home is a piece of paper and a pencil. And you know what? That's okay, because you can do this with a pencil too. In fact, I have some other ones that I did right over here, and one was with a pencil. See my dragon? He's pretty cool. I also did another one where I found some birds. So you can find pretty much anything in these scribbles, and it is a lot of fun to do. Just like every other time, if you want to share the images that you made with me, that's awesome. Send me an email and I will reply. Send a tweet out to KP and we'll get it up so other people can see it. And just have fun. You guys ready to get off of this table? Awesome. Go do a thing.